everybody, welcome to another concert review. Today, I'll technically be talking about two shows because this was at a music festival. My first music festival. That's right, I haven't really been to a music festival before. There just haven't really been any that I've wanted to go to that I've also been able to go to up until now. And at this show, I saw Barre of Jethro, Tull, Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues, and John Anderson from Yes. Those were the three acts I saw. I came mainly to see Barre and John Anderson. Justin Hayward was just in the middle of them. Not that the Moody Blues are bad or anything. I just don't know much, about them yet. So, he wasn't the one I exactly came to see. But, he was good too. And overall, I had a fun time for my first music festival. Admittedly, this was a fairly small music festival. So, by comparison to, most more well-known music festivals, this was fairly small. It's the Great South Bay Music Festival, right here on good old Long Island, and I had a really nice time. So let's get into them, each act one by one. First music festival, baby. Yeah. So, the first of the three acts that I saw was Barre of Jethro Tull. Now, Jethro Tull, had come somewhat close to my area in the past for some concerts. I didn't end up going, though. I don't really remember why. I think maybe I wasn't home or something. I'm not entirely sure. But, they had been around here sometime not too long ago. Anyway. Martin hasn't been a member since, since they broke up in, 2000... I don't know, but, this show mostly consisted of Jethro Tull songs, but without Ian Anderson's flute, interestingly. They did not get a flute player, although the singer that he had did do a decent Ian Anderson impression, I suppose, that he kind of sang like him, but, so these are all Jethro Tull songs that were played without flute, and sure, Aqualung, which was the set ender, of course, never had flute, but, they played songs that originally had flute, but without it, and they did, very unique arrangements of these songs, but that still sort of had the same feeling as the original versions. So, admittedly, they opened up with a song I'm not that familiar with because I haven't listened to the album it's on, Heavy Horses, yet. The song was Hunting Girl. I haven't really listened to that album yet. I haven't listened to Heavy Horses yet, though, so... I didn't really know what it was, but I thought it was cool nonetheless, and it was awesome, getting to see, Barre right there, the person who does the same guy who created the awesome solo of Aqualung and other classic solos like We Used to Know and all that, man. So I'm a bit, I'm not too far from the stage, but, I'm not that close, really. So a few times throughout this show, I went a little bit closer up. Like I walked a bit closer up to like get some like closer shots. And in fact, while I was closer up, I actually met this guy who actually saw Jethro Tull a number of times back in the day. And he was telling me about the times when he saw him. He actually saw them with I think he said he either saw them on the Passion Play tour or the Thick as a Brick tour. I'm not sure which one he said he saw them on, but it was either one of those. All I know is he said sometime at Nassau Coliseum. He said 72, which of course was Thick as a Brick, but he described the show more like how a Passion Play show would be described. So, there's a chance it could have been Passion Play. There's a chance it could have been Thick as a Brick. I'm not sure. He could be, misremembering what year or whatever. But it was entertaining talking to this guy. And when Martin went into the first song I knew, New Day Yesterday from the Stand Up. Yeah, from Stand Up. We both went nuts. We both started like singing along like crazy. It was a good time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That song like I instantly went yeah, and because I actually went back to my seat. Because I think there might have been another song before that after Hunting Girl, but before New Day Yesterday. And I went back to my seat, but when this song came on, I went right back up close again, and I was with the guy again, and man, we were just having such a good time, just, singing along to the song, and, dancing. I mean, the guy's probably drunk, but it was fun. It was fun. That's a great song, too, a nice bluesy rocker, good guitar solo. Now, for some reason, I, during this show, decided to experiment a little bit with this VHS camera app I have on my phone. Admittedly, it did not get, obviously VHS is low quality, and that's why I like that sort of cool analog, low quality feel, but when I tried filming with it, it was more blurry than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be somewhat blurry, but I think I'd filmed a few things with it before, and it looked more of what I was expecting, and I think that's because because I was somewhat far away, that it didn't come in as it came in a bit more blurry than I was expecting, but yeah, whatever's. I probably shouldn't have used it as much as I did, although I didn't really use it that much, so, so after A New Day Yesterday, they do another song from Stand Up, 4,000 Mothers. Now, this is originally a very, flute-oriented song, but here, it's a lot more guitar centric. Although the original definitely had a lot of guitar, of course. Here it's a bit more guitar-y and it sounded really good. It also sounded really good. Yeah, Stand Up is a great album. It's like I don't know. It just has such a good vibe to it when you listen to it. It's definitely one of my favorite albums from that year. And definitely, in my opinion, one of their best albums overall. Probably the best album of their first three, from the era of their first three albums with, that lineup. Okay, well, the first album was with Nick Abrams, but, he left, and then Martin Barre came for the second album. Anyway, yeah, but it's probably my favorite of the first three. Benefit is good, too. So then after For 1,000 Mothers, I believe it was right after this song that they do of all songs to do, a cover of Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Yes, that's right. This, like, crazy, like, electric guitar version of Eleanor Rigby. It was pretty cool. Didn't really sound like the original song, but that's fine. It was interesting. It was very, very interesting to hear. Not something I was expecting from the set at all. Seemed a little random, but hey, it was cool. Although, interestingly, Martin said before playing it, "Oh, this is for all the people who aren't Tull fans." Like, you're in a bill with John Anderson and Justin Hayward. Everybody here is probably a Tull fan, or at least most of them. If people are coming to see you, they're probably Tull fans. Like I never heard his name before I got into Tull. Like, oh, whatever. Following the cover of Eleanor Rigby, they went into a part of Thick as a Brick. Now, thankfully, it was also one of the best parts of it. The poet and the fucking painter, man. This is one of my favorite pieces of Tull-like music ever. Like, this specific part is just so good. It's my favorite part of Thick as a Brick, easily. Oh, there's plenty of other good parts, of course, as well. And, this definitely didn't disappoint. If you're going to do one part of Thick as a Brick, I'd say that this is probably one of the best ones to do. Especially considering, this is a guitar show mostly. Like, there's no flute here. In fact, most of the instruments were just guitars, really. There wasn't any keyboard even. So this is definitely, like, the best choice for Thick as a Brick representation in a show like this. So, yeah, so they played Poet and the Painter. It was great. The solo was great as usual. And interestingly, what they did after Poet and the Painter is they skip over the they skip over that whole part, because that part's very very keyboard oriented. It's very very keyboard and flute oriented, so it's not like they probably couldn't do it really. But they did still play another part of Thick as a Brick. So they skip over the and go to the childhood heroes part. The part that's like, make your will and testament, won't you join your local government, left Superman for president, let Robin save the day. That part. That was pretty cool too, because they sort of rearranged it to make it more guitar-y in that case, and it was pretty cool. He added a bit of a solo to it. It was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to see that part. I was thinking it was just gonna be Poet and the Painter. I was thinking it would just be that, no other parts of Thick as a Brick, but hey, that was cool to see that part as well. Okay. And then I believe following those two sections from Thick as a Brick, he did one of his, like, solo album songs. It was called, like, A Moment of Madness. I didn't get it on camera. But it sounded decent, I guess. And he was like, "Oh, this is my self-indulgence part." I guess that makes sense. And then after the solo piece, they do My God, which is a song that's known for its flute solo, like in the middle. It's a very lengthy flute solo in the original song, But the rest of the song is decently guitar-y, so it still works, and they made it work, and it sounded really good. And they replaced the flute solo section with this excerpt from another song, from like another Jethro Tull song. I asked somebody else in the audience, and they said that it was from some song off the Crest of a Knave album, the 80s one of the one that got a Grammy. the one that got a Grammy over Metallica infamously. Yeah, so I think it was something from that. I don't know, I'll play a snippet here. If you know what it is in the comments, let me know. And yeah, so yeah, they did My God. It was pretty cool. Very good song, as always, sort of bluesy, I guess you could say, like very blues prog, yeah, very sort of like a blues prog track. And then after that song, they go straight into the song that follows it on the album, Hymn 43, and this was another really cool one. Surprisingly, this is something that surprised me, is that during this, everybody goes wild. Like, the audience started going, like, nuts for it. And I thought I was, like, alone and thinking, wow, this is an awesome song. Like, because I really like this song, but, like, it didn't seem like there were that many live performances of it by the band, and, like, you know, it didn't seem to really, I didn't think it was really all that well known, except to those who listened to the album. But lo and behold, you have a ton of people, like, you know, getting up and, like, dancing to it, and, like, and it's, like, amazing guitar riff, in my opinion. It's one of Martin's best riffs, up there with Aqualung easily. And yeah, it was another great one. Everybody was having, like, a good time with that one. Like, everybody was really, like, getting into it. It was fun. It was very fun. And you know, the humorous, the sort of kind of humorous, kind of satirical lyrics of the song. I don't know, that's at least how I found them to be anyway. I'm probably misinterpreting, because I misinterpret things a lot, but, you know, those added to the fun, I guess, because, you know, these people were singing along, and yeah, it was fun. And then, of course, they end off the show with Aqualung. Now, because of this, the interesting song that they skipped over that's basically a total setlist standard is Locomotive Breath. They didn't play Locomotive Breath because you know, they chose to make Aqualung the ender, and Aqualung makes sense as the ender, you know, for this. And it's interesting though they didn't play Locomotive Breath because Tull plays it so damn much. It's like their most played song in concert. But you know, it's a very, you know, it's another song with a flute solo. I could definitely see why they didn't, you know, pick it. It's definitely it's Ian's baby. It's Ian's baby. So, you know, I could see why they didn't play that. But Aqualung was great as expected, and Martin, of course, does a great guitar solo. His most iconic guitar solo, one of the coolest guitar solos of the 70s. It's great. It's very, like, aggressive. It's just so good. Very, very good, of course. And again, everybody was going nuts for this song because it's probably the most popular Tull song, up there with Locomotive Breath. And yeah, that was Martin Barre's set. Overall, really fun set. Highly recommend going to see him if he plays in your area. He actually plays longer sets at his normal shows, so I would like to see him again and see what other songs he plays, in addition to the ones that he played that night. And of course, I do want to see the current lineup of Jethro Tull, at least at some point, because, you know, they're Jethro Tull, and I want to see Ian Anderson. I want to see the crazy flute. But you know, I hope I get to see him someday. Yeah, but overall, great show. Let's move on. So, for Justin Hayward, I don't really know a whole lot about the Moody Blues, to be fair. I haven't gotten into them yet. I've heard very good things about them, and this show definitely was quite a good show. He put on a very nice show. Definitely a lot of good relaxing songs, and you know, overall it definitely all the songs sounded very well written, and it was good. It was good, but now I didn't really get a whole lot of footage of this guy because unfortunately my phone was on rather low battery, and I kind of wanted to save my phone battery for an artist I knew more about rather than him. But I did still get some stuff of him, including this really cool part where he brings out an electric and he does like this little solo at the end of one of the songs, which was apparently one of his more popular ones, according to him. The people I was with in the audience, they told me, here's one that's a hit. Because we were talking and like I was saying, I haven't really gotten into them yet, and they were recommending me what albums to listen to, so I'll make sure I get on that. But he was pretty cool. Interestingly, no drums for the show. I guess because it was mostly acoustic. So I actually heard a lot of people actually saying this would be better with a bit of percussion, don't you think? So people were saying that the percussion felt missing. And I guess I could see why, even though I haven't heard most of the originals yet. Anyways, he was good. He was good. And interestingly, he had a flute player on stage, which you would expect for the Tull set, but nope, this guy is a flute player. Yeah. Alright, and here we have John Anderson. So this is my second time seeing him. First time I saw him was the Paramount for the Close to the Edge 50th anniversary tour thing he did with the Paul Green Rock Academy, which is actually one of my most viewed videos. You could check it out if you just go on my channel and click most popular. It's probably near the top. Anyway, so it was awesome getting to see John Anderson again, and I like that this time he was with a smaller band. I think that the songs definitely, probably a little bit better with like a smaller band. Not that the kids weren't good, because those kids were very good. They were Paul Green Rock Academy people. They were really good at their show. But these guys, the Band Geeks, who are actually Long Island locals, were really good too. They really did a good job at recreating the sounds of Yes. Let's go through the set here. So they opened up with Yours Is No Disgrace, a song I've been wanting to hear live, and it was pretty cool. They did it in a different key, and behind them for this show, there was like these 3 screens that had like backgrounds on them. Some of these backgrounds admittedly looked a little poor, just like cheap CGI. Some of them looked pretty cool and went along with the songs nice enough. Overall, it was cool having that. And at the beginning of the show, they actually said, interestingly, for a Yes concert, because you probably don't normally associate this with like Yes, it said, screaming and shouting are encouraged. Thank you. Yeah. But, so they play Yours Is No Disgrace. They do a very good job with it. And I didn't really get close for this one because, there was a lot more people, going there. There was a lot more people for this than there were for Martin. So I didn't really choose to go up as close. And I could see them decently anyway, so, although, I did do a lot of alternating between sitting and standing, so I could, see what was going on a bit. So were a lot of other people. Yours Is No Disgrace. Very, very good song. Very good song. Good guitar work on it. Then, following that, they did Heart of the Sunrise, another great one. Now, interestingly, for this one, even though it's only been 2 years, they actually played it in a different key. Now, I remember when I saw John Anderson with Paul Green Rock Academy, they played Heart of the Sunrise in the original key it's in. I'm pretty sure, at least I remember them doing it that way anyway. I'll have to check. But the thing, if this is indeed true that they did it in a different key for this show, it's like interesting to think that his voice changed a bit in 2 years. And yeah, I will say this for this show, John's voice definitely did sound like it had aged a little bit more. Because I was thinking at like, you know, the Paul Green show that like his voice didn't really sound much like it aged at all since back in the day, just a little bit. But now it definitely has aged a bit more, you know, because you know he's getting older and you know it's gonna wear down. But you know, it's good that we have him. It's good that you know his voice is still there, and he still sounded very good. I consider this song to be one of his best performances vocally, just in general. And yeah, he definitely didn't disappoint here. Yeah, very good song, very good shifts between heavy and softness, and yeah, very good song as usual. Then came one of my favorite songs of all time, Close to the Edge. It was awesome getting to see this song again. I wasn't thinking I was going to get to see this song 2 times in my life, but lo and behold, I got to see it a second time, and it was great again. Once again, you know, they have the cheap CGI in the background, but I loved how on the screens at the beginning of the song, they use a color palette that, like, looks like the album cover. Like look at that. Like that's, like, the same colors. And, like, the same shade of green. And, you know, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, it was, like, the album, like, starting up, almost. Yeah, so, you know, so you have the, you know, of course, the opening guitar solo, which was done pretty much flawlessly. Like the Paul Green show, they made some parts a little bit more guitar-y than the original. Yeah, it was overall another great one, and I liked, again, the simplicity of it being more just a smaller band than when compared to like the huge big band he had with him, with all the extra percussion and stuff at the Paul Green. Like so it all came together very nice, very tight. Yeah, and of course, the ending of the song is as beautiful as ever, and oh man, I just love Close to the Edge so much. It's, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful songs in history. Like, my God. Anyway, following Close to the Edge, they did And You and I, and no, they didn't do Siberian Guru at this show, unfortunately, but no, I can understand that, and hey, at least I got to see them do it with the Paul Green Academy, so yeah, that's fine. They did And You and I, and it was also very good. Now, I didn't get a whole lot of footage of this one because I was trying to conserve my battery again for Starship Trooper, which we'll get into later. You know, it's And You and I. It's another beautiful song. Probably my least favorite of the 3 on Close to the Edge, but you know, still a very good song. And there's a really good, the guitarist does a really good slide solo here. And I always wonder what, like, pedal Steve Howe uses for, this song. Like, cause I noticed he has, like, this, like, pedal on during this song that almost makes the guitar kind of sound like a keyboard. And, like, I know it's not a keyboard because I've heard other, you know, guitar songs use it, like, To Cry You a Song by Jethro Tull. I hear the same effect during the last solo on that, and I don't know what pedal effect it was. I kind of got a similar effect by turning up a flanger, like turning up a lot of the settings on a flanger all the way. I forgot exactly which, but like I was able to get a sound that kind of sounded like it, but I don't know if that's how they they do the Steve Howe and this guy did it, but whatever it is, it's a cool effect in my opinion, and I'd love to learn how to use that effect on my guitar. Anyway, after And You and I believe they do was after that. I've Seen All Good People. Yeah, I believe after that song they did I've Seen All Good People. Oh, and of note, I almost forgot to mention, during And You and and I've Seen All Good People, the same guy who came onto the stage to provide, the acoustic guitar parts at the Paul Green show showed up to do the acoustic guitar parts here. At least I think it's the same guy. Like I think they got the same guy to do it. So I got to see not only John 2 times, not only Close to the Edge 2 times, but this guy. Interesting that he brings them along for these 2 songs specifically. Whatever. And again, I've Seen All Good People is another, great one. Although, interestingly, they didn't start the song with, the I've seen all good people turn their heads each... They didn't start the song by saying that. The guy just immediately goes into the opening guitar part, interestingly, so... Yeah, that was the first time I've heard the song without the I've Seen All Good People at the beginning. Of course, they do it again during the jam section, but yet another classic, and I think it was after that they did this solo song, this John Anderson song that he did with the Band Geeks or something. I think they released it as a single, and they might be releasing an album for it. It was called Shine On, and again, I don't believe I got any footage of it because I was trying to conserve my battery, but it sounded like a pretty good song. It didn't sound bad. It sounded pretty good. Although I personally probably would have put Siberian Khatru in that slot. Although I don't know if it will be long enough. I don't know. Maybe it will be. I don't remember what the exact length of that the Shine On song was. Right. Siberian Khatru is 8 minutes, so I don't know. I'd have to look it up. After the solo song, then comes Starship Trooper. My other favorite Yes song. My 2 favorite Yes songs are Close to the Edge and Starship Trooper, and it was great getting to hear Starship Trooper again. So this is my 3rd time seeing the song live, and all 3 times have been great. While my favorite was probably, seeing Steve Howe actually do the solo, seeing Steve Howe do it. This guy here was still very good, and I still definitely had a good time with it. Although I do remember having a lot of fun as well at the Paul Green show, where everybody starts doing various solos and it turns into a chaotic jam, and it was pretty fun. But Starship Trooper again, just absolute beautiful song. Interestingly, here they did it in a different key, which I don't believe they did. I don't believe the Paul Green at Rock Academy did with John, 2 years ago. But whatever. It was still a very, very, very good song. Starship Troopers a classic, and it's another one of my favorite songs from Yes. Another one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, my favorite song on the Yes album. But yeah, that was very, very, very good. And I thought the show would end there, but they still had time to do Roundabout, and they did Roundabout. It was Roundabout. Another, of course, classic song. Probably Yes' most popular, next to Owner of a Lonely Heart. Very good song. I think they did it in a different key, which again they didn't. Paul Green, the guitarist, like Steve Howe did at the Yes show I went to, switched between the electric and the acoustic, like on the fly, because he had, the acoustic on the stand, like how Steve Howe does. So roundabout, another good song for a concert. It definitely makes sense as an encore as well. And very fun. And the show ended. My first music festival ended, and second time seeing John Anderson. Overall, I had a lot of fun at the Great South Bay Music Festival. If any of these artists come to your town, I definitely recommend checking them out. And going to see them. They put on a good show, and my first music festival. Hopefully, if I go to more, I'll have a good time, and hopefully going to the bigger ones doesn't feel like too much of a hassle. I don't know. I'm not used to a music festival experience that much yet, and this was, rather light one, so, I'll have to see what the future holds. Anyways, see you around, guys.